He was just my stepbrother. Until that night in the rain. Soaking wet, heart racing. He looked me in the eyes and said something I'll never forget. What started with a kiss turned into a secret we couldn't hide. Please don't forget to subscribe. And one request, please always keep smile on your face. He was just my stepbrother. Until that night in the rain. Soaking wet, heart racing. He looked me in the eyes and said something I'll never forget. What started with a kiss turned into a secret we couldn't hide. I never thought getting caught in the rain would change everything between me and Jaxon. But that's how this story begins. On a warm summer evening, thunder rolling in the distance, and my heart beating faster for reasons I didn't understand until it was too late. My name's Avery. I'm 22, fresh out of college, trying to figure out life while moving back in with my mom temporarily. I wasn't thrilled, to be honest. But I didn't expect that coming back would mean living under the same roof as Jaxon Reed, my stepbrother. My mom had married his dad while I was away at school. I'd met him a couple of times in passing, but we'd never really talked. Until that night. Jaxon was 24, tall, lean, with dark tousled hair and eyes that made you want to stare too long. He had this calm, quiet confidence that made him stand out in a room without trying. I wasn't prepared for how attractive he'd become. And I definitely wasn't prepared for the way he looked at me now. Different. Intense. It started with something simple. A storm was coming, and I needed to grab something from my car. Jaxon offered to walk with me. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of rain and electricity. We barely made it to the driveway before the sky opened up, drenching us in seconds. I squealed, trying to shield myself with my arms, laughing uncontrollably. Jaxon just stood there, smiling at me like I was the most fascinating thing in the world. "We're soaked." I yelled over the rain, hair sticking to my face. He didn't move. Just watched me with those eyes, the water dripping from his lashes. "You look beautiful like this." I froze. My heart skipped, then hammered. I searched his face for a joke, a smirk. Anything that would make it less intense. But there was none. Just him. Just the rain. Just us. We ran back to the porch, dripping wet, laughing and breathless. But the moment we got under the cover of the awning, silence fell between us. Our laughter died out. The rain was still pouring around us, but suddenly the world felt quiet. "I shouldn't say that," he murmured, eyes locked on mine. "You're my stepsister." Technically. Technically, I echoed, my voice barely above a whisper. There was heat between us, undeniable and raw. I felt it in my chest, my fingertips, every part of me. The air was charged, our bodies too close, too wet, and my heart knew before my mind could argue, something was going to happen. He lifted a hand and gently tucked a wet strand of hair behind my ear. My breath caught in my throat. His fingers grazed my cheek, lingering. "I think about you more than I should," he said, so quietly it barely reached my ears. My stomach flipped. My head screamed no, but my body didn't move. My lips parted, and all I managed was, "Why now?" He stepped closer. "Because pretending not to feel it is driving me insane." I should have walked away. I should have said something clever. But instead, I stood there, heart racing, as his face inched closer. And then, his lips were on mine. It wasn't a soft kiss. It was hungry, warm, desperate. His hands slid around my waist, pulling me into him, and I kissed him back like I'd been waiting for this moment longer than I even realized. The rain was still pounding on the roof, but nothing else existed. Just his touch, his mouth, and the way our bodies fit together like they were always meant to. We pulled away, breathless, eyes wide with what we'd just done. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm not," I said. That night, everything changed. We couldn't undo what happened. And we didn't want to. But we also knew it wouldn't be easy. Living in the same house, hiding our feelings, pretending everything was normal. It was like walking a tightrope. Over the next few weeks, we danced around it. Casual touches became electric. Glances across the dinner table lingered. Late-night encounters in the hallway made my skin burn. And every time he brushed past me, my body remembered that kiss. One night, I found myself standing in the kitchen in a tank top and shorts, pouring water, when he walked in shirtless. My pulse instantly jumped. He looked at me, his gaze dropping to my legs and then slowly back up. "You doing this on purpose?" he asked. I blinked. "Doing what?" "Looking like that. I live here. I'm comfortable." He moved closer. "You know what you're doing to me?" I couldn't breathe. "Tell me." He stepped behind me, his hand brushing my waist. His voice was low, heated. "I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see you. You're under my skin, Avery. And it's killing me." I turned to face him, our bodies almost touching. "Then do something about it." His mouth was on mine before the words fully left my lips. This time it was slower, deeper. His hands explored my back, my shoulders, my neck. We stayed in the kitchen like that for what felt like forever, locked in a kiss that said everything we couldn't. But the next morning, reality came crashing back. Mom and his dad had no idea what was happening under their roof. And guilt started creeping in. We tried to talk ourselves out of it. We said we'd stop. We said it wasn't right. But it only made us want each other more. One evening, we found ourselves alone watching a movie in the basement. The lights were low, and a storm was rolling in again. The rain had become our strange, twisted omen. I curled up under a blanket, and Jaxon sat beside me. Minutes passed before I felt his fingers graze mine. Then his hand found my knee, squeezing gently. "Jaxon," I whispered, already breathless. He didn't wait. The blanket slid away. His hand trailed up my thigh, stopping just below the edge of my shorts. My whole body tensed with anticipation, fire spreading fast. His eyes met mine, asking without words. "Yes," I breathed. What followed was a slow, sensual exploration, hands, mouths, hearts racing. We didn't cross any lines that would violate our rules or anyone's expectations, but it was intimate. Charged. Every inch he touched felt like lightning. That night, we stayed curled together in the dark. My head on his chest, his hand stroking my arm. "You make me feel alive," he said. "Like I'm not just existing. Like I'm breathing again." It wasn't just lust. It was something deeper. But secrets don't stay buried forever. One morning, I walked into the kitchen to find Mom holding her phone, a strange look on her face. "Everything okay?" I asked. She looked at me, then at Jaxon, who had just entered the room. "I was just going through some old pictures from last week," she said slowly, turning the screen toward us. There we were. A photo we hadn't realized she'd taken. Me and Jaxon, sitting too close on the back porch, his hand on my knee. My heart stopped. "You two seem close," she said carefully. Jaxon stepped forward. "We need to talk." He took my hand, right there in front of them. And then he said something that shocked me more than anything that had happened so far. "I'm in love with her. And I don't want to keep pretending we're just siblings. We're not. We never were." The room went dead silent. I braced myself for chaos. For yelling. For disapproval. But Mom just stared at us, then sighed, her eyes softening. "You're both adults," she said finally. "And you didn't grow up together. I just hope you know what you're doing." It wasn't approval. But it wasn't rejection either. That night, Jaxon held me tighter than ever before. "No more hiding," he whispered. "I want you. All of you." I kissed him like he was the only thing I needed. Because he was. And now, every time it rains, I smile. Because I remember that first kiss. That moment everything changed. That moment I realized sometimes love shows up in the most unexpected places. Like on a porch in the middle of a storm, with your heart wide open and no umbrella in sight. And no matter what anyone thinks, I wouldn't change a thing. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more interesting